Hello, everybody. It is the afternoon on September 21st, Sunday, and I just got back from, I was at the FarmAid40 concert yesterday, and it was a great concert. Pretty much what I expected. I'd been to a couple before, but it had been a long time. And, took a friend who had never been to one, she was not familiar with any of the acts really. John Cougar Mellencamp. I missed the days when he called himself Johnny Cougar, but hey, I'm an old guy. Neil Young and Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's concert was, a little underwhelming, but you also got to think about his life and his age, and the fact that he can still even get up there and play is probably a miracle. Uh, so I had fun, but I returned to St. Louis at first thing today, and I'm back in the St. Louis area. But it reminds me of when we realized we could do better. You know, we didn't have to dislike, hate everybody. I guess that's the way to put it. Yesterday I had a social media post go out, and a person responded, a person that I hadn't seen or talked to probably in 4, if not 5 years. Uh, it's been that long. He's not somebody I really knew very well, but he said that my post on Jimmy Kimmel was intellectually dishonest. And I laughed at first, and then I responded with, I don't think he understood what the term intellectually dishonest actually means. We talked briefly about ratings and how all broadcast networks have gone down, but at the rate of viewership he has, he's still doing very well. And we discussed the fact that as an accounting person, it's not, we know that TV shows, the industry, TV shows don't make money, networks make money. So when you say a TV show doesn't make money, well, yeah, it's not designed to really make money. It's the network that makes the money. But he's not aware of that. And it's easy to not know that, because if you're listening to only a few sources of information, you're only going to get what they want to hear. We know that there are mergers in front of the FCC chairman, and we know that the FCC chairman and President Trump made comments about ABC and Jimmy Kimmel and how they should have their licenses reviewed. Now, granted, we all know that the legal system works slowly and that he could go after them, and it would probably be long after he is dead and no longer the president of the United States before these cases would ever even be solved in 5, 6, 10 years, however long it really would take. But his presidency would definitely be over. And instead, they went after the TV channels that want to merge and combine and create bigger conglomerates at a time in which most of us Americans know that one of the biggest problems we face is the fact that there has been too much consolidation, whether it is the media industry, whether it is the meatpacking industry, it doesn't really matter. There's been way too much consolidation. But then these companies said, we're going to pull Jimmy Kimmel off our stations. So it left ABC in a situation where they kind of did it. Now, shame on Bob Iger for being such a coward, because he would have had legal recourses if they would have tried to do that. Even previous Disney CEO Michael Eisner has come out and said this is just not how leadership works. The leaders of many of the companies today they're not leaders. That's the reality. They know how to be, because I guarantee you that men like Jamie Dimon, know how to lead, and he's just choosing not to. So we've got to understand that we're now in a position where we can't expect the corporate leaders to do anything other than lean towards making profit. If you're a Star Trek fan, you might just consider them the Ferengi Alliance. But the rest of us need to step up, do better. We need to be informed when we make decisions. And if we're going to go out there and comment, maybe what we should do is listen and learn first and speak second. But in our social media age, we speak first and learn if if it comes down to it. Preferably not. Okay, well, again, this is Sunday, September 21st. It's the mid-afternoon. It's a fairly nice day here in the Midwest, in the low 80s. So, spot showers, but a pretty nice day. And FarmAid40 was a good concert, and people like John Mellencamp, Neil Young, Willie Nelson, they lead by example. Something a lot of other people need to learn how to do. All right. You have a wonderful day.